Hoogerheide, what a weekend, what a finale, what an explosive end to one of the most memorable years of cyclocross I can remember. The men saw battles amongst the established kings and pretenders throughout the whole year, but on the women's side, we saw arguably something even more spectacular, a changing of the guard. Of course, injury has played a significant role in the seasons of established top dogs Lucinda Brandt and Marianne Vos, but the emergence of a new big three in women's cyclocross is no fluke. These three mean business, and arguably none of them mean business quite the way that Fem van Empel does. So who is the newly crowned world champion, and why could she well be the breakout star on the road in 2023? Fem van Empel is, like basically every top crosser in the women's scene, Dutch. Down the south of the country in a small town called Den Dungen to be more precise, more renowned for antisocial youth and a small chippy, but also mere minutes away from former World Championships venue St Michielsgestel. This combined with cycling running in the Van Empel family, cousin Mickey is a former teammate of Sir Nice and Uncle Ad van Empel is the man behind Impeller Bicycles, might well be the leading factors in a roughly 17-year-old Van Empel pulling the plug on a dream of being a professional footballer. Playing at 3rd division side RK SV Nuenen, the youngster dreamt of Bayern Munich, but after deciding to race the junior mountain bike championships for fun and finishing 3rd without doing much training and on a bike she'd not really owned very long, the Bayern dream was no longer the only way. By the winter of 2019, she'd raced her first big races, seemingly debuting amongst the elites in the 2019 Nacht van Woerden, ending up in a 26th place. In early 2020, for the first time, we'd see a top 3 that we've become intimately familiar with over the past few months. At the Junior National Championships Cyclocross, Shirin van Anrooy would crown herself champion. Buck Pieterse and Fem van Empel would be the people rounding out the podium. A very familiar trio by now. Throughout 2020, Van Empel would race mountain bike, including a podium at the Elite Eliminator World Championships, a huge result. Throughout the winter, more top 5s in Elite Cross would follow, and in Oostende in early 2021, Fem van Empel would get the better of Annick van Alphen and Blanca Vas, crowning herself the under-23 world champion as a first-year under-23 rider. 2021 would prove to be Fem's big break. Victory in the World Cup in Val d'Isole would put Van Empel amongst the youngest World Cup winners in history, among the likes of Marianne Vos and Mathieu van der Poel. With a second victory in Flamanville, she proved herself to be ready for the big time. 6 months later, another cross season would break its dawn, and the big time would be indeed exactly where she was. Sweeping up the early races, she'd take an incredible 4 out of 4 in the opening World Cup rounds this year, before also winning the Koppenberg Cross and crowning herself as Elite European Champion in Namur. Her winning start would eventually be ended by none other than Shirin van Anrooy in the Beekse Bergen, but that wouldn't stop the European champion from claiming a further 3 World Cup rounds, winning the overall title, before heading to the World Championships in Hoogerheide. In a close battle with Buck Pieterse mere weeks ago, Fem crowned herself as the champion of the world at the first time of asking, doing so with a ferocious show of dominance. And it's that leads us to now, with Fem in the rainbow stripes in cross, and on the road, she's in the black and yellow of Jumbo-Visma. Van Empel joined the team officially on the 1st of January, speaking of wishes to race Strade Bianche in the Tour of Flanders. It looks like that wish might have to wait a year though, as the newly crowned cross world champion will focus mostly on mountain bike once more, but we do know that she will be trying her hand at the road at some point. Exactly what she'll do remains a mystery, so does, rather terrifyingly, what she's actually good at. See, Van Empel is built like a climber, lightweight but still with great power. Her World Championships victory was built on her blowing the likes of Lucinda Brandt out of a wheel on a long uphill drag. In Benidorm she delivered a similar tremendous blow in which she destroyed the likes of Shirin van Anrooy and Sylvia Persico on a dragging uphill section. Ordinarily that's what you'd peg her as, a puncheur climber in the mould of Demi Vollering, or dare I say Annemiek van Vleuten. However, Van Empel also has a sprint to her, strong enough to win from small groups at least. Her ability to turn the screw for over an hour in cross implies that she also has some ability against the clock too. Quite frankly, Van Empel could be a terrifying prospect, on the level of her Jumbo-Visma teammates Wout van Aert and maybe even Marianne Vos. There could be a future classic specialist in there, but just as much a future tour winner, an ambition that Van Empel has touched on having before. I don't think there's really a limit to what Van Empel could achieve, though I'd have to guess at her being more suited to the hillier classics races. The shorter climbs suit her slightly more than the longer alpine passes would, and her incredible ability to always keep it cool on the bike should help her navigate the chaotic classic races. Though I suppose another question mark is how tactically experienced Van Empel even is on the road. As you can hear, she's a complete wildcard, but a wildcard that might well be incredibly good. A total unknown thrown into this road season, and we'll see what comes out. Our only benchmarks are an impressive Thuringen tour last year, and the fact that she, at least in cross, is reliably beating a lot of the best riders in the world on the road as well. I think it might be a year early to see Van Empel really win big things, but if she has her day, she's more than capable to top 10 a big race, maybe even finish amongst the top 5. And at Jumbo-Visma, she finds herself as probably already one of the better climbers in the squad. Kim Kadzo has already proven herself to be also a ridiculous talent, but after that, Jumbo don't have a lot of people who go up the mountains that well. So should that be the kind of race that Jumbo-Visma finds itself at, Van Empel might well get opportunities. And if those opportunities come knocking, Fem van Empel is the kind of person who doesn't just let them go. So whether it's on the road, in the fields, in the mountain bike, no matter where or what you're watching, be aware, because Fem van Empel is coming, and she is probably going to win whatever competition that you are watching.